The movie opens with Yautja Prime, where Dek, a young runt predator, is undergoing a brutal training session. He moves through the deadly terrain using advanced tools, eventually entering a cave where his scanner detects his brother nearby. Without hesitation, Dek strikes first, but Quay blocks the attack and the two are immediately locked into a fierce fight. As they clash through the narrow cave, Quay taunts him, forcing Dek to adapt and use the environment to survive. The battle intensifies until Quay corners him, but instead of killing him he breaks the structure beneath them and sends Dek falling into the abyss. Dek survives by gripping the wall, climbs back up and attacks again with renewed rage. Later aboard their ship, Quay tells Dek that he must choose his first prey to earn his place in the clan. Dek instead declares his intention to travel to Jenna, the Death Planet, to hunt the unkillable Cowlisk, a creature even their father fears. Quay opposes the idea but Dek stands firm and makes his vow. Sometime later, Dek awakens to an alarm as the damaged ship spirals toward Jenna after being hit by orbital debris. At that moment their father Njar arrives and reacts with fury, revealing he had already ordered Quay to kill Dek for being weak. Quay refuses, believing his brother deserves a chance to prove himself, which enrages Njar and sparks a violent confrontation. Njar orders Dek's execution, but Quay turns against him, freeing Dek and protecting him as chaos erupts on board. Quay fights their father fiercely, disarming him despite Njar's camouflage and brutal counterattacks. But Njar overpowers him, injuring him badly and calling him weak. In his final moments, Quay chooses his brother over loyalty, activating the ship to send Dek away to Jenna. As the vessel launches, Dek watches helplessly while Quay is left behind, dying. He ejects in a survival seat and plunges through the planet's atmosphere, narrowly avoiding a collision before crashing deep into a hostile jungle. Furious but focused, he prepares for the hunt, only to be immediately attacked by vine-like creatures that steal his weapon and drag him into combat. Dek fights back with bow, blade and instinct, but the jungle keeps adapting, swarming him from all sides. After a brutal struggle he manages to break free, climbs to higher ground, and finally surveys the terrifying world of Jenna. Then Dek continues deeper into the unknown, searching for the Cowlisk across Jenna's deadly landscape. In a vast open field he discovers strange red plants that hiss and react violently to his presence, forcing him to move with extreme caution. Suddenly he hears a voice and looks up to find a figure trapped inside a massive nest. As he cannot understand her language, the woman activates a universal translator, revealing herself as Thea, a synthetic android. Before any explanation can settle, a Jenna vulture appears and provokes the field by throwing rocks, triggering the plants to explode in red smoke and fire needles across the area. Dek dodges most of the attack, but Thea warns him that the needles are paralyzing agents meant for hunting prey. She offers to help but Dek refuses, claiming Yautja hunt alone, while Thea correctly assumes he is after the Cowlisk. As more plants are triggered, Dek is eventually struck and begins to lose consciousness. In desperation, Thea asks for a weapon and he throws her a blade before collapsing. The vulture moves in for the kill but Thea fights back and brutally kills it, saving him. Moments later, Dek wakes up to find Thea has treated him using an antidote made from the same deadly plant. He notices she is severely damaged, missing half her body, and learns she is a synthetic created by Wasteland, built for survival in hostile worlds. Without much emotion, Dek rejects her at first, but Thea offers him a deal. She can guide him to the Cowlisk's lair if he helps restore her body. She also reveals that many Yautja have tried and failed before him. Dek realizes the Cowlisk is what destroyed her, but still hesitates until Thea refers to herself as a tool, which changes his decision and he agrees to take her along. Injured but determined, he treats his wound by the river, scans the environment for resources, and discovers a living organism that can be used as a bomb, marking the beginning of his survival on the Death Planet. As they travel, Thea constantly talks and questions everything while Dek remains focused. At a river crossing, they are suddenly attacked by acid-spitting worm-like creatures. Dek carries Thea on his back to escape, but the path becomes blocked. Thea uses the moment to teach him by throwing a sticky fruit that distracts the creatures and stops their attack. After escaping, Dek cuts through vines and ties Thea to his back for easier movement. That night they camp together as Dek uses a device for light. Thea opens up about her past, revealing she arrived on Jenna 2 years ago and was trapped in a vulture nest for nearly 2 weeks. She once hoped another synthetic named Tessa would rescue her, as their models possess heightened emotional awareness. Dek sees this as weakness, but Thea believes it is strength because it allows understanding rather than pure instinct. She explains she was once taken out of a lab by Tessa, but that moment ended in disaster when the Cowlisk first attacked them. The next morning, Dek leaves to hunt for food and encounters a bone bison, a creature typically preyed upon by the Cowlisk. Dek pushes forward through the terrain but is forced back when he realizes the entire field is covered in razor grass. As he prepares to strike, a small unknown creature suddenly drops from a tree beside them. Thea cannot identify it and Dek threatens it, but the creature simply challenges him without fear. Moments later, it begins chasing the bone bison effortlessly, unharmed by the deadly grass, forcing Deck into competition. Fueled by instinct, he follows by leaping through the trees, but a broken branch sends him and Thea falling toward the razor field. In a split-second reaction, Deck drives his blade into a tree and stops their fall just above the lethal ground. When the bison charges back, Deck seizes the opportunity, jumps onto it and drives his blade in, but the creature violently throws them off using the surrounding terrain. The small creature reappears, rolling ahead, and Deck loses control, tackling it in frustration, dragging Thea into the chaotic struggle. Despite its size, the creature fights back fiercely, but Deck eventually overpowers it and grabs its neck. Before he can react, the bison returns at full speed. Deck throws his sword and forces its mouth open as the blade slices through, killing it in a brutal finish. Before he can celebrate, a massive Luna bug erupts from beneath them and traps Deck with its tentacle tongue, cutting off his weapons and movement. As they are about to be eaten, the small creature leaps into the monster's mouth, shattering its teeth from inside. In agony, the Luna bug releases them and retreats across the razor grass. Enraged, Deck cuts down a tree and uses it as a bridge to pursue it. The creature captures the small one again, but Deck drops from above and drives his blade into its head, killing it in a single strike. Meanwhile, at a hidden base, Tessa, who looks identical to Thea, is shown recovering from severe damage inside a repair pod. She relives fragmented memories of Thea and the Cowlisk attack while an AI system reminds her that her priority is still the hunt. The system detects a Yautja presence and marks Deck as a threat. When Tessa finally awakens, she is informed that Thea has been captured by a Yautja, and her mission becomes active again. Meanwhile, Tessa and her synthetic team continue searching for Thea, discovering Deck's crashed pod before being ambushed by vine creatures. They respond with gunfire and flamethrowers, burning through the swarm. Elsewhere, Tessa's team explores Deck's crashed ship and recovers Yautja weapons, including a grenade that freezes one of them instantly. That night, Deck and Thea set up camp again. The small creature continues following them, mimicking Deck's behavior, and Thea names it Bud. They share a meal as Thea asks about Deck's past. He speaks about his father and brother but refuses to accept any idea of grief, rejecting the word entirely. He instead acknowledges Tessa as Thea's sister figure, a concept Thea finds meaningful. The next morning, Deck leaves with Thea but abandons Bud, insisting again that he hunts alone and that Thea is only a tool. Thea argues that true leadership is like a wolf pack, where the alpha protects rather than just kills, but Deck ignores the meaning and claims he will be the strongest hunter. Following a Kal Fong trail near the river, they eventually reach what remains of Thea's base, now completely destroyed by the Cowlisk. Among the wreckage and synthetic bodies, Thea finally discovers her missing legs. Thea manages to recover her legs using the still-functioning repair machine, though the process takes time. She thanks Deck for helping her but warns him to leave, revealing she has already activated a beacon to summon her crew. She explains they are also hunting the Cowlisk, so she cannot allow him to kill it. Deck refuses to retreat, choosing to face death with honor rather than abandon the hunt. In the wreckage, spilled oil becomes Deck's weapon as he ignites it, creating a thick smoke screen. The Cowlisk emerges from the chaos and immediately overpowers him, shattering his sword and throwing him back. Deck adapts, using metal as a shield and slipping beneath the creature to slash its belly, then striking its head and tail. But the Cowlisk regenerates instantly, revealing its true nature. It cannot be killed. It counters violently, hurling Deck into the repair station and disrupting Thea's recovery. The battle intensifies as Deck breaks free, cutting the creature's tongue and avoiding its relentless attacks. While Thea struggles to retrieve her legs, she finds a gun and fires at the Cowlisk to distract it. Deck uses the opening to chain the creature and activate a pulling mechanism that drags it back. He takes the weapon, keeps firing, and narrowly avoids another tail strike before trapping the beast behind a storage door. From there, he climbs its body and delivers a powerful decapitation strike. But even this fails as the head instantly reattaches itself. Before the fight can continue, Tessa intervenes and throws a freeze grenade, immobilizing both Deck and the Cowlisk so she can take control. Later, Deck wakes up restrained inside the crew's transport while Thea remains in a suspended repair state. Tessa studies her logs and dismisses Deck as insignificant, believing his survival is an anomaly. She congratulates Thea for capturing both targets, then begins experimenting on Deck, causing him intense pain through injections and neural cables. Thea tries to protect him by arguing he is not valuable for science and suggesting they release him, but Tessa refuses and continues the torture. Thea breaks under pressure and shuts down the system, confronting Tessa and urging her to be more than just an obedient machine, even offering a bond like sisters. Tessa rejects this completely, revealing she never came to rescue Thea, only to capture the Cowlisk. She aligns herself with Yautja beliefs about eliminating the weak and calls Thea defective. A call from Earth interrupts her and she leaves, ordering guards to contain Thea. Using deception, Thea helps Deck trick a guard into opening his device, which detonates and kills him. She frees Deck, triggering an alarm and a firefight. In the chaos, Thea opens the back exit and Deck escapes by leaping into a waterfall. Later, Deck returns to his crashed ship and tends to his wounds, but finds himself without weapons. For a moment he considers abandoning the planet, until he sees his brother's helmet and remembers the true meaning of strength, protecting the pack. He changes course, returning to the jungle to forge weapons from the planet itself, harvesting razor grass blades, red flower spikes, and even acid worms. During this process he discovers Bud again and realizes the truth, that Bud is the Cowlisk's offspring and was spared because of its scent. To protect it, Deck masks Bud with his own scent instead. Finally, he frees Thea's legs and follows their signal back toward her. At the enemy base, Deck returns in bone armor made from the bone bison and storms the area, taking down guards with acid attacks as Thea's legs guide him toward her location, where she remains trapped in a sealed containment box. When two guards rush in to attack Thea's legs, Deck moves instantly, cutting them down with a whip made of vines and razor grass. Bud joins the fight and takes out another guard in seconds, proving himself a true ally in the chaos. Together they sneak through the base, silently eliminating every threat so Thea's legs can continue advancing without interruption. Inside the base, Deck continues his assault, using his natural weapons to destroy synthetic guards, even taking on multiple enemies at once. In one lab encounter he is cornered, but instead of fleeing he smashes open a glass container and lets a living vine sample kill his attacker. The legs finally reach Thea's containment box, killing a guard and opening it. Thea awakens and celebrates, but quickly senses danger and pretends to still be inactive. When guards approach, both halves of her body work together in perfect sync, ambushing and eliminating them in a coordinated attack until the final enemy is defeated. Deck arrives moments later but the box is empty. Before he can react, Thea shoots a guard attacking him, finally reuniting with him. Deck admits he returned for her like a true wolf protecting its pack, but insists they must now free the Cowlisk so Bud can reunite with its mother. Meanwhile, Tessa reports to the company that they are ready to return with the Cowlisk, and when asked about Deck she confidently claims he is already dead. At that moment, alarms trigger as Tessa orders the immediate launch of the ship carrying the Cowlisk. In the chaos, a squad closes in on Deck, but he unleashes explosive acid worms, wiping them out instantly. Tessa then appears in a massive battle suit, using stolen Yautja technology to overpower the battlefield, firing energy blasts and swinging heavy weapons, forcing Deck into constant evasion. Inside the main ship, Thea attempts to unlock the Cowlisk cage but is blocked by security. She kills a guard and uses his biometric access to proceed. At the same time, Deck is thrown back into the lab area where the battle suit attacks him relentlessly. He narrowly survives by using the environment and positioning himself above Tessa's suit, then drops onto it and begins tearing out its systems from behind. As the fight escalates, the Cowlisk arrives and attacks Tessa's suit directly. Tessa tries to kill it with a saw, but Deck disrupts her by damaging the suit's systems and redirecting her attacks. The Cowlisk breaks free and destroys the suit completely, devouring Tessa as the structure collapses. In the aftermath, Deck and Thea watch as the Cowlisk reunites with its child. For a moment the fighting stops, and Deck shows respect by pressing his forehead against the creature in acknowledgement. But the moment is shattered when Tessa, still alive inside the creature, detonates a final ice grenade, blowing the Cowlisk apart from within. She emerges from the wreckage and attacks again, but Deck strikes from behind and finally kills her. Bud tears off her head, ending her threat for good. Later, Deck returns to Yautja Prime and presents Tessa's head to his father. Still unimpressed, his father sends guards to execute him, but Deck quickly kills them. He then confronts his father in a final duel, using a sandstorm from the ship engine to reveal his position and cutting off his arm before capturing him. When Deck symbolically destroys his father's authority, he is offered acceptance into the clan, but he refuses, declaring he already has his own pack. In a final moment he proves his dominance and takes his father's cloak as his own. As another ship appears overhead, Deck looks up and says it is his mother. And that's how Deck survived the deadliest hunt on Jenna and became something far beyond a runt. He became a true hunter who chose his own clan. If you enjoyed this recap, hit that like button and subscribe to Screen Media content for more cinematic stories.